was a tribute by Ravel to Johann Strauss II, the composer who wrote
这首曲子是拉威尔题献给小施特劳斯的。
And it's interesting because there's different opinions as to whether this was kind of a dark piece written in the effects of the sort of post-war era. But Ravel claims no, that it wasn't. It was just an honest collection of waltzes, and he tried to create this effect for the orchestra of just this huge explosion of sonority.
就是实际上这首作品写作的年代是在战后一个比较黑暗，然后可能比较沉重的这样一个年代。但是拉威尔当时在那个时期，他选择了写作，并且收集很多圆舞曲。然后这些曲子的一个非常大的特征就是它有非常洪亮的或者说恢宏的气势和音响。
The piece was originally written for orchestra, and in fact was a ballet. He wanted it to be a ballet. It's called La Valse Poème Chorégraphique, which a choreographed, a danced poem.
这首曲子其实本身是一首交响乐作品，然后拉威尔将它重新改编成了就是现在的钢琴曲，然后它的名字是当时的这个
Yes, choreographed or danced.
是
ballet.
是一首芭蕾舞的这样的一首芭蕾音乐。
Then he transcribed it just for piano, but it was originally, he heard all of these orchestra sounds. So our goal is to make it sound as much like an orchestra as possible.
然后他才将它改编成了现在的钢琴版本。所以其实当中依旧有很多艺术特征是非常交响乐化的。
And it's interesting because this was a departure stylistically for Ravel. Ravel oftentimes wrote in a more neoclassical style that was clearer, not terribly emotional, very French, objective. But this was really kind of a welcomed departure from his style because it was so emotional and carried with it such a different gamut of expression.
这个也是拉威尔的他的风格转变的一首重要的作品。他离开了他之前习惯创作的新古典主义的这样的一个艺术特征，然后当然也让这首作品有非常感性化的表达，然后有非常丰富的这样的情感。对。
Now, the reason why I like to talk a little bit about pieces before we work on them is I try to reinforce that it's so important to know something, to know some background before you approach any piece, so that you have some understanding of what the original ideas are of the composer. That gives you the best ability to interpret what it is they're doing.
之所以我要在开始课程之前要先介绍这首曲子，是希望大家每个人在就是去学习一首新的乐曲之前，先要了解它的创作背景，以及作曲家之所以要就是他一开始的就创作他的初衷，然后这样子我们才能更好的来诠释这首作品。
Now to the performance. It was really, really amazingly played and understood and organized and all of that. I think I don't have a lot to say, but what I would suggest is what we'll work on just little details of the style and of sound in particular areas, cultivating a sound that has a more French and supple touch.
首先你有非常非常多优点，然后也有非常卓越的这样的技术和非常组织的非常好的这样的一个表演。那么我希望从两个方面，然后我们可以一起探索。第一个是希望在乐曲的风格上， 第二个是在声音上，是希望能够教会你更多的、更法国式的这样的一个出现。
And even in the most climactic areas, the loudest areas, the touch still has to have a roundness to the attack. And therefore, I wanted to add, well, you can retranslate that and I have a question for you.
其实在就是最高潮的部分，在这首曲子当中，它的触键依旧是你要感觉它是圆的，就是它有一个就是一个圆润的声音，而不是一个尖锐的这样的一个声音。
So, quick question. There are a lot of climactic areas, and especially at the end where we feel this tsunami wave of sound. So there's two different energies we have. There's a sort of, not negative, but a certain energy that is with will and with, purpose and heaviness and so on. Then there could be a climax that's ecstatic, that's filled with this positive energy, surrender kind of to that. Which would you say this piece would gravitate more toward? This kind of a feeling or this kind of a feeling?
在乐曲的就是最后的这个高潮部分，我们就是会听到像这个海浪一样的这样的浪潮，一浪高过一浪的这样的声音。那么老师现在问你，就是说，当我们去处理一个高潮部分的时候，它有那种充满了能量，然后非常沉重，然后的这样的高潮，也有老师说就是非常积极的，然后非常活跃的、充满生命力的这样的一个。你认为这首曲子你会怎么来处理这些部分？He wants something very grandiose.
Grandiose, with kind of an expanded, this kind of energy. Grand. We can use more of that. And I think if you think this way, the sound will also be. So we'll go through. Well, these are some of the things we'll talk about. Okay, I love the opening very much. It presents a little problem with this. If hear the E very well, but we do have to hear the resolution. Just make sure that that sounds. It's not just a lonely E. Then, as we go here, the first entrance, we have this, right? I think this is only a hint. It's only at the beginning. So we don't have to be so. Just keep it ringing from a distance. It's just, it's coming out of the mist kind of feeling.
一开始的这个地方，这个发是就是一开始我们要听到这个音，然后接下来它只是整曲的开头，是一个开端，所以我们一开始它像在很远的一个距离，在从云雾当中还没有显露出它的整个一个音乐的一个形象。
And then just one other attack. Here's we'll talk about this French sound, and right after that you have, and then this little staccato, that comes after that. I think this is just a release of this sound, like a rebound of this sound. So I wouldn't articulate it. You're kind of doing, sorry. But I think it just belongs to, it's just a rebound. And then this interrupts a different voice there. So use that just more supple attack there.
这里需要更微妙的这样的出现，然后最后一个音不要太短，然后让它感觉是一个句子的一部分，而不是一个单独独立的这样的。
Let's go from the beginning. Good. Could we make that one sentence? So it wouldn't be late with this when it continues what you just said. So 8 bar rather than 4 bar. Right from here, that's much better, right? Just from here. Right, that's one thing. Good. Same. Yes. Good. Excellent. So you're developing this here, and as you go up, not too loud than that, but could it be more alluring? All of this music has to have a certain attraction of charm, in a way. So imagine you're trying to get someone's attention and being kind of begging for their attention. So then very, very easy.
这一类的音乐就是充满魅力和吸引力的，所以它这个地方可能是在求关注。
Good. This is a tiny detail, but I wouldn't accent, but be a little bit easier on this. So it's going to sound louder anyway because you're going for this lower tessitura to suggest to middle.
这里可以音色上有点变化，弹得更轻巧轻盈一些。
Yes. Good. Then you see these tenutos here, those become kind of pillar harmonies. So we need those are forming lines. So continue them in your ear and connect. Sing through those. They make a harmonic line right there.
听到这里的和声的这样一个进行，然后让它的线条呈现。
I would go to that a little brighter so that this can be darker. Different color.
上行的这个声多这个地方可以更明亮一些，那么给底下后面的这个更多的空间，然后可以淡一点的音色。
Yeah, a little bit more weight in the You can imagine the arm moving this way, on and in, with the firm hand to produce.
稍微多用点重量。
And very alto, like, very deep. Very sonorous, expressive.
低声部更深沉一点。 Good.
2 details here. Again, I would make longer sentence, so you see this little forward thing that connects. So, and we have these 2 little bars that are connector bars. I would think of them as more parenthetical and not draw attention to them by having an accent there. And then we restart the next phrase. So these aren't as important. The right hand is, the left hand is just neutral.
这个就是肢体伴奏的部分它是忧伤而富于表情，上面的这个要更注意它的线条，所以不要有额外的这些重音，然后 挺好，谢谢。
主人，當前電量已充到80%，稍後即可充滿啦。
Even the elbows creating some give, like a shock absorber, and the attack feeling almost from the shoulder, gently. Yeah. Is for it not to be too fragmented. So we have to find ways to hold the structure together longer. So for instance, when you get into, you got very soft suddenly. It does say piano, but then it has accents. I think that's actually still kind of on the upper crest of the phrase. I don't think it's coming down yet. This is still kind of where the peak of the phrase is. Then we restart it later. But we don't want so many fresh starts. Otherwise it becomes not quite as clear.
就是这首曲子很难的一个点，就是它有很多这些动机啊、旋律的这些碎片。那么我们要尽量能够将线条弹得更长一些，不要显得就是很零碎。
Maybe we can start from here, right here, and this being sort of still the crest.
就刚才那个地方就是上行的，就是它还没有，它的能量还没有到最高的点，然后它还不需要就是落下来。你需要更多的展示你自己，就向观众看，而不是。
Right there, grand in a positive way. Yes. Good. And the A sharp is also beautiful. So let's not lose that. The A flat going to the A, that's something wonderful. Enjoy the lower note.
听一下这个声音，它是旋律的一部分。
Yes, good, good. He writes two A's. We have A and then another one. The second one could be a little more pleading and beautiful. And sing. And sing. You can anticipate them, linger a little bit, you can manipulate the waltz rhythm a little bit. And he's got little accents, I think he's saying, be expressive with those notes.
首先是这个要很歌唱，然后第二个是这个它这个小的这个七度上行的这个上扬的这个地方需要稍微多一点点这样的一个表达，显得它非常的富于表情。可能并不光是音量上，而是更多的是在非常这个有分寸的这样一个时间上。
After this, I would change pedal with a new harmony. Rule of thumb, except when there's a new harmony, you shift, right? We clear the pedal. So that would be one where I would not pedal too much. I would pedal with the fresh harmony.
这个地方还是建议要换踏板。当我们知道这个换踏板的一个规则，就是当它和声发生变化的时候，我们还是要把踏板放开起来。
Sing and go, longer gesture.
我们想要更大的句子，更长的线条。
Then soprano takes over there and grabs it and finishes.
最高声部要出来。
Yes, excellent. I see that you're really favoring the top, which is beautiful. But what's also beautiful about this change? First time we just had a single voice. Now we have actually two instruments supporting each other. So I don't completely negate this alto. It's actually adding support and a different texture.
之前第一遍的那个，我很喜欢你弹的这个高声部。那这一次的时候，实际上它中间的大拇指这个，它变成了这个旋律变成了8度。所以，与其是只听到高声部，其实我们可以让大拇指的旋律也是同样的旋律声部，可以来更好的支撑你的整个一个旋律的进行。
That's another area where I think if we make this a longer phrase, right, and not stop it, continue developing what you just had here. It's developing what you just did. Just is the ending there? Support of the bass.
希望你能够把那些长音就是更突出一些，然后让我们听到那个和声的这样一个共鸣。
And then in the 8th bar there, where you come to with your glissando, make sure that you're still energizing, yeah, the chords, that you don't give in to them, that you listen while you're doing the glissando, that you're still expanding and honoring those.
当你在做这个刮奏的时候，我们一定要听他们底下的这个和声，一定要支撑那里的，一定要听好这个和声，给它能量。
When you have blocked chords like this, find the counterpoint. Find the lines, find the things that are the lyrical aspect.
老师想让你更多的听到那些变换的音，就是中声部的内在的这个声部的音。当我们在听到这些和弦的同时，也要听到它的对位，然后将这个线条更好的来组织好、听好。
In bar 235, I think all of you have music here. You could have a 235, this area. He writes dotted half notes in the left hand. I think what he's saying actually too is to sustain those with pedal. I would use longer pedals so that we hear this cello line. But if I do, I'm going to lose the staying power of this dramatic, this ascending line. So still a little more sustainable.
就是拉威尔是一个记谱特别讲究的这样一个曲调，所以这个地方实际上他写的是二边音符加附点。如果我们弹就是只是去按照这个舞蹈节奏，但是没有把这个重拍保持住去的话，实际上就失去了它这个底下的这个经典性。
Maybe 20% of the weight away for a moment. Still, but we really want to be able to hear the progress.
还是想听到那个旋律，所以20%的力重量少一点，就是左手的这种，既要听到这个进行，但是少一些。
Not bad, not bad. Can make sure the foot lifts all the way, otherwise we get a little bit of one more time, just a little clearer.
稍微这个脚上稍微少一点，就是既要长过去，这是一个分层。Does Ravel writes bring this out a little bit, all of this. I think the leading line, because that's ultimately what takes over. So I would play legato, right? Still sing through that. I wouldn't ignore that. I think that's the thread of the line. 虽然拉威尔的底下也写了，中声部也有变化，但是更重要的依旧还是最高的这个声部。我想我们还是需要就是听到它，不忽略它，同时更歌唱。
Even there, do we need to play legato? Or I think in this case, I would think a little bit more connected between the intervals. Easy. bottom of a G, and then building to the big one. So land with a little more of an up bow rather than a down bow. So down and up, up, and the syncopation is a surprise. Get up, boom, ah. Try that.
就是这个伸头这边这个和弦稍微是一个让人惊喜，是一个不一样的，稍微弱一些。
It happens twice. So I wouldn't do it exactly the same way the second time. Maybe you take a little different timing. Maybe you shape it by coming back more a little bit. But I would come up with a plan that's a little bit more, has more variety.
因为它重复了2次，所以我们2次不应该做成完全一模一样的。你可以在就是节奏的弹性啊，包括强弱上，有一些变化，就是让它显得更丰富一些。
Then just one small detail. After you do this, make sure that you hear the next chord. Sometimes this gets lost. Treat it as part of the linking notes as you're moving high. They're part of the melodic line. Part of the structure.
到中间中音区之后变化之后，这个上面的这个小的音符，这个 leading 的这个螺丝依旧要听到。It's taking us in a new direction. It's attention getting, and he writes these accents. Something new, subito. 需要更多共鸣，听上去稍微长一些。
Measures. This is this idea about the sustained bass line. If you can, have that in your ear that this pedal point is going to sustain through a little bit more. So it might be manipulating the pedal by sustaining a little longer than you're doing now. So that's more important. And you're right that it's the relationship of G. The lower notes are a little less, more and less. But still not too short.
底下的音，首先这个低音的这个贝斯的这个线条需要更多踏板让它就是，另外就是刚才老师说是底下的那次8度可以稍微轻一点，但是不能太短。
Good. And unfortunately, I think we have to stop there. I wish we had more time to go through the whole thing. Just as you're reaching the end and you're getting to the part where all circuits break loose, right? Just see if you can practice maintaining this swoosh, this whoosh that we talked about earlier. That's what I would focus on in this last section, is always creating this engagement sonority, right? Thinking, and not thinking that you're a pianist, but thinking you're utilizing the resources of an entire orchestra. Yeah.
就是可能我们今天无法就是将整个曲上完，但是我希望你在今后的这个学习当中、练习当中，能够更多的就是考虑到就是它这个声响上的这样的一个，刚才我们一开始上课开始的时候聊这个，然后同时。更多的想象它是整个交响乐团，而不是仅仅只是一台钢琴。
And I want to congratulate you because you have grown so much. I heard him when he was very young, and the progress is just really beautiful. You're playing so maturely, and keep up the incredible work. It's terrific.
因为我从小就看到你一路成长，然后你的成长是让人感到非常惊喜的。然 后也是非常非常棒的这样的一个经历，对，然后希望你在今后的学习中越来越好。
Bravo. Thank you to my predecessor Yang. Thank you for attending today. And I think we have another masterclass right away. Have a wonderful time at the festival.
谢谢大家，然后今天来聆听，然后非常非常高兴，非常感谢。
Thank you.